fitting that an international tourism trade fair would find a unique way to display some of the world's most famous landmarks. The nighttime scene was part of an event that runs through Sunday in the capital of Spain. It aims to encourage people to travel the world, and those landmarks were depicted by drones, about 200 of them lighted and hovering overhead against the backdrop of the moon. But why did it show only objects people have built, as opposed to well-known natural sites like Mount Fuji, the outline of the Great Lakes, or Uluru? We don't know for sure, but it might be because the light show was organized by a hotel chain that's known for its locations in city centers, maybe within shouting distance of the magnificent monuments these lights represent. Welcome to The World from A to Z, where we travel the world to get you up to speed on current events. My name is Carl Azus. Next subject today is about an event taking place tomorrow. The United Nations has designated January 27th as International Holocaust Remembrance Day. That date was picked because it's the anniversary of when the Auschwitz-Birkenau camp was liberated in 1945 during World War II. Auschwitz is located in Poland and was used by Nazi Germany as a labor camp, a concentration camp, and a death camp for more than 1 million Jews. Between the time that Adolf Hitler came to power in 1933 and the end of the war, his Nazi party executed 6 million Jews, in addition to people from other minority groups or those the Nazis disagreed with. The purposes of International Holocaust Remembrance Day include memorializing the victims and standing against anti-Semitism and racism. This year's event coincides with the release of a new study by the Claims Conference, a U.S.-based organization that seeks compensation for Jewish Holocaust victims and their relatives. It says there are about 245,000 Holocaust survivors who are still alive. Most of them, 61%, are women. The survivors live in dozens of countries around the world, and their median age is 86, meaning most were children when the war ended, though the oldest is believed to be a 112-year-old woman. All of this is according to the Claims Conference. Most of those who endured Nazi persecution have passed away, and the study serves as a reminder, as the organization puts it, that Holocaust survivors won't be with us forever.
A world of knowledge.
Which of these is the flag of Panama? Is it A, B, C, or D? The flag that represents the Central American country of more than 4.4 million people is represented by option C.
Since 1914, the Panama Canal has cut thousands of miles off the shipping route between Atlantic and Pacific. Since 1869, the Suez Canal has cut thousands of miles off the route between the Mediterranean Sea and the Indian Ocean. But because of violence there that's related to war in the Middle East, and because of an ongoing drought in Panama that's related to El Niño, a natural warming occurrence in the Pacific Ocean, the global shipping trade is being squeezed in two significant parts of the world.
As the Red Sea crisis forces cargo vessels to find alternative shipping routes, environmental threats are limiting the use of the Panama Canal, creating a complicated situation for maritime trade. A severe ongoing drought is causing dangerously low water levels in the canal. Some ocean carriers had chosen to reroute through the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean to the Red Sea, before Houthi attacks on commercial vessels in that region escalated. But now many ships can't rely on either waterway, leading to shipping delays and price hikes.
We have been forced to decrease by 24 vessels a day from the usual 36 or 38 in order to guarantee 44 feet depth, and we will keep this number of vessels until the end of the summer.
The 80-kilometer shipping route connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, but uses fresh water from surrounding lakes to fill its many locks. The U.S., China, and Japan frequent the waterway for maritime trade. 2023 was the second driest year for the waterway in its 110-year history. Water use mitigation efforts, including treatment plants and saving tanks, have proven not to be enough. El Niño now projected to persist until sometime between April and June, according to the National Weather Service.
We are realizing that in a very, very dry year, these measures are not enough, so we have to look for an additional solution.
As a temporary solution, global shipping giant Maersk is using rail transport for some shipments to reduce its footprint through the water route. But until drought no longer plagues the Panama Canal and violence eases in the Red Sea, this perfect storm of maritime trouble has global manufacturers and shipping companies at an impasse.
On this date in world history. January 26, 1788, a British naval officer named Arthur Phillip sailed into New South Wales on the Australian continent. He was in command of 11 ships that were carrying hundreds of convicts and their families, and Phillips founded what would become a successful British colony in New South Wales. The anniversary of this event became Australia Day, which some see as a celebration of all things Australian, while others see as controversial because of the impact colonization would have on Australia's Indigenous people. And on this date in 1926, a Scottish inventor named John Logie Baird demonstrated something truly revolutionary. Baird presented the first working television system. The engineer would continue to improve the technology and later demonstrate the first color TV as well. There are sculptures large and small that have withstood the test of time and elements, and there are some that take just as much artistry to create, but only last a few hours, unless you live in the tundra. Next today, we're entering the world of ice sculpting, the creation of frozen features that can range in price from several hundred to several $1,000s, but only keep their shape for an afternoon.
Okamoto Studio in New York City carves some incredibly elaborate ice sculptures. The business started 20 years ago when Shintaro and his dad, Takeo, combined their artistic skills. Takeo was actually one of the first people to bring the Japanese form of art sculpting to America. And the skill runs in the family. Shintaro took after his dad and chose to pursue the ice sculpting art over med school. Although Takeo died in 2012, Shintaro's work continued, reflecting his dad's legacy.
My father always had a really great, I think, philosophy in life where you just do the best you can possibly do that's given to you in front of you, and everything else follows.
Everything else includes, for example, the nearly $1,000 sale price for this dragon. But to Shintaro, it's not all about the money. Ice is constantly melting, presenting a rare challenge that wood or stone sculptors don't face. Shintaro enjoys that challenge.
And I often talk to my clients about the beauty of ice is that it's not what it is, but what it continues to become. There's that constant changing, the transformative element of it, and what's left is the memory of it.
From the town of Pembroke in the Bay State of Massachusetts, we're excited to have Miss Leaper's class watching today. Hope you're having an awesome Friday at Pembroke Community Middle School. And moving to the land of 10,000 lakes, Miss Theobald's class is here. Big hello to everyone watching at Fairmont Junior Senior High School in Fairmont, Minnesota. As far as attempted acts of vandalism go, well, you'll see why this one is probably worth sharing. A dude in Canada recently made the poor life choice to try to throw a large flower pot through the window of a business. But as nature and physics would have it, whoops, his buddy's laughing too hard to help him up. But the guy standing nearby did come back to replace the planter and much of its contents. They may still be charged with mischief. But at least it's easy to explain how the guy's clothes got soiled. It's probably a good thing his feet weren't planted. The slip and slide might have uprooted his vandalism efforts, but it stifled the growth of more withering charges and sheds light on the cloud's silver lining when things don't go according to plan. We hope all y'all have a wonderful weekend ahead. I'm Carl Azus for The World from A to Z, and Fridays are awesome.